Muli magandang araw, ako pa rin po si Eli Saludar.
Ito po ang inyong kaibigan, dating political advisor ng ating butihing Pangulo Duterte. At dito tayo sa programa Iparas kay Paras. Magandang hapon sa ating lahat mga kababayan.
At paglalaman po ang maestro, bumabati sa inyo ng isang magandang hapon.
At syempre, isa sa pinag-uusapan pa rin, Secretary, yung nangyari sa SMNI at yung mga ginawang pagkilos ng ating mga kongresista. Bagamat sa ngayon, yung pinakahuli ay pinakawalan na, pinalaya na itong sina ka Eric Celis at Lorraine Badoy.
Okay. Yan at hindi na lang tayo pwedeng mag-comment dyan tungkol dyan sa ikangay paglaya because unang-una nag-sorry naman si Eric talaga kasi sabi niya nagkamali siya. Ako, if I were him, I would not have said sorry. Apat pinanindigan ko yung ginagawa ko.
Tsaka kung bilang journalist,
kasi,
meron namang karapatan na, di ba, wag sabihin kung sinong...
Ako lang, may konting misgivings lang ako dito kay Eric. Dahil, naninindigan siya, but at the same time, bumitaw din siya. It would have been better if talagang he sacrificed for the sake of his right. Pero, well, the rest is history, no? Whatever transpired, nanindigan tayo dito na ang ating pagtingin, hindi talaga siya nagtanong. Hindi siya nagtanong. Talagang nagbigay siya ng statement na 1.8 billion yung ng ating
wala man lang parang disclaimer.
Wala man
Di
lang,
umano.
di umano. Wala siyang basta. Tapos huli na lang yung sabi niya pinapatanong. Iba yung pinapatanong kaysa nagtatanong.
Yes.
'Di ba? So, yun lang po. I mean, hindi itong programa natin patas the tandem Lorraine Badoy and Eric are not totally blameless. So, in fairness naman, siyempre may mga congressmen na minamahal nila si Speaker, whatever reason minamahal nila, at least naninindigan sila for the Speaker kasi parang it's really parang a slur, which is not true. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But in relation to that, marami pong nag-i-epal ng mga congressmen. Isa dito yung
Sumasakay.
sumasakay. Isa dito sumasakay itong certain Rodriguez, never heard. Balita ko sa iba one rider na ito, tricycle. Kung totoo siyang one rider, kasi yung one rider nagre-represent sa mga motorcycle. Tinatanong natin, English ng English, kala ko motorcycle or tricycle driver ito. Kasi he cannot be said to be rich person kasi to become congressman you have to be rich. Kasi gagastos ka lalo ng party list, binibili yung boto niyan Tapos ito rin yung itong tricycle driver na ito rin yung nag-file ng resolution na makialam ang ICC. So, ito yung masyadong nagmamalaki doon sa hearing. Nothing to do with the other members of Congress. Siya on his own. Tapos mayroon din yung anak ng kaibigan ko. Ito ay talagang malaking sorpresa natin dito. Eli, ikaw, itong anak ng
speaker
ng best friend ko na si Ginoong Boy Nograles, dating speaker. At alam mo naman, ang istorya niyan, bakit naging speaker niyan, it's right in my palm. Paano siya naging speaker. But anyway, that's history. Pero nagtataka ako, bakit itong anak niya, bumabanat dito sa issue na ito. I don't know kung nakain itong batang nito.
Yung PBA party list representative.
PBA party list.
Migs Nograles.
Sige, Eli,
Ito.
ano ko sa iyo kung anong masasabi mo tungkol diyan.
So, yun nga at kasi parang siya ang ang agresibo rito sa
Yes.
isyung ito. Talagang siya ang parang pumupunente at nangunguna rito. Pero nung napanood ko yung interview,
Hindi preparado.
lari pala.
Parang may
Neither,
Malayo sa
here
mga-
nor there.
Yeah.
Parang nag-uudyok lang.
Malayo sa tatay.
Parang
Check.
sabi ko ngayon, anak ba ito ni Boy? Anak ba ito ni Boy Nogi? Bakit ang layo? Ang matalino yung tatay, ito, I don't know kung matalino, pero
Nakita ko-
sa interview ni Karen, mukhang hindi.
Pero siya, nakita kong credentials, yung mga pinagtapusan.
No.
At nagturo pa ito sa Ateneo de Davao
Well, yeah.
May mga ganun. Pero kung minsan, iba yung sa pag sa issue ng politika at yung sa interview.
Yes. So, pakita natin yung interview, no? At hindi na lang tayo kasi, alam mo, yung pamilya niyan, talagang very close ako. Lalo na sa kay Boy, yung wife niya, kaibigan ng misis ko yan. Madalas kami mag-travel nung chairman pa ako sa Committee on Transportation. Parati kong kasama yan si Boy kung saan kami nagpupunta. Pero, well, that's history. Ngayon, nagtataka ko, sponsors pa daw ng SMNI franchise yung dalawang kapatid. Oo, when they were members of Congress. Bakit has gone astray itong daughter? Are they raised at the same household?
Pero taga Davao to, di ba?
Oh, yeah. Pero sige,
Panoorin
palabas
natin.
natin yung interview.
At the end of the day, whether you like the commentator or not, he is still protected by the Soto law not to reveal a source.
Yes.
With that, do you agree?
Well, lumabas po yun during the hearing, and I do understand the Soto law. But there is an exception in the Soto law that when
Which
it
is
comes
what?
to national security, di ba po?
But what makes that national security? I mean, I'm calling out a public
Yes.
official, regardless if it were the speaker or not,
Yes.
on trips spent. And the reason I know this is because radio commentators from mainstream media have done it with past presidents.
Yes.
Hindi naman sila pinatawag sa hearing.
Yes po. I understand that.
Sinasabi nitong anak ni Nograles na may exception daw when it comes to an issue of national security. Aywan ko kung pinag-aralan ba niya. Anong national security yung ganon, statement lang. Alam mo, when you raise national security under the law, kailangan na present and danger. Clear and present danger.
Parang pelikula yan.
Clear and present danger na otherwise it's hard to curtail press freedom. It's hard to curtail the right of speech, free speech. Unless there is a clear and present danger law that will affect national security, that will affect curtailment of rights of other people. Yan, pero ito, wala. Yun lang. Abogada sana, pero hindi ko alam saan niya kinuha yung kanyang argument. Ito, tuloy.
So, okay, with that, hindi naman po, sinabi ko naman po rin when I did the sponsorship speech of this is not a oppression of the freedom of the press. No. But kung meron silang mga violations, they have to be accountable for that.
I agree. I absolutely agree. This is not about you.
Yes.
This is really just as a whole.
Yes.
This is as a whole, right? If the commentator didn't hit on the speaker, would Congress have acted? If he, let's say, hit an opposition person, somebody irrelevant to the supermajority,
Yes.
would Congress have come to the defense of the free
Well,
press
this
or
stem from-
disinformation?
But this stem from various resolutions na po, no?
Yeah. But
And
no,
at
my
the same time,
answer my question.
yes.
Would the supermajority in Congress, as I say, I have no love lost here
Yes,
for
yes.
SMNI, but this is a matter of principle. If
Yes,
it was
po.
not the speaker who was hit, would congressmen have acted in the same manner?
like I said, so hindi lang po naman yun kasi yung nandoon sa resolution po.
Hindi na lang natin ipapatuloy kasi na panood na ito ng karamihan.
Mm-hmm.
In due deference to my closeness to the Nograles family, papasalitain na lang natin ang ating mga taong bayan. Kung ano yung komentaryo nila dito sa interview nitong anak ni Boy Nograles.
Pero abogado to, no?
Lawyer, nagtuturo daw ng ano. Well, times had passed. When I met this lady when she was young, and she was 18 years old, I think. She was supposed to be my son was supposed to be her escort in her debut, but well, things didn't go medyo nga nagkaroon kami ng konting kasi hindi sumipot yung anak ko sa parang nagkaroon ng konting tampuhan yung
pamilya.
Although friendship with Boy and myself prevailed, but anyway, alam mo, things happen, but bata pa ito nung nakilala ko, so hindi ko na nasubaybayan na siya na pala ay isang professor at abogada, at ito na nga naririnig ko siya kung paano dumiskarte. Pero ito yung mga commentaries ng ating mga kababayan tungkol dito sa and I congratulate Karen. This is just one of the very, very few na pinapakita niya yung katalinuhan niya. The rest, we have criticized her because sabi pa nga ni Topacio in his statement, kung hindi ka tanga, hindi mo, parang ganon. I'm not saying, sabi nga ni Topacio, no, I'm saying it in general. So, anyway, ito po ang mga komentaryo ng mga kababayan natin dito sa interview kay
Migs Nograles.
Attorney Nograles. So, ito, isa-isahin po natin. Okay. Congratulations, Karen Davila, sabi ni Jason sa for outsmarting and outwitting a member of the 19th Congress and daughter of a former Speaker of the House of Representatives of the Philippines, a lawyer and a law teacher, a staunch defender of and a trying hard socialite. Nagbuka kawawa 0.5 ang IQ at dinaig pa ng senior grade and logic and ability to express oneself on live national broadcast yung interviewee ni Miss Katie ni Davila. Ako ang napapahiya para sa anak ng aking yumaong kainuman ng kape sa Apo View. Itong Apo View, isa yan sa mga prominent hotels in Davao City. Sa tuwing nakukorner si Karen ay talamitang nagaganap
sa TV.
Tapos ito naman, isang comment, hay nako, mas binatbat pa ang movie and television star Vanessa Laksamana, also known as Alma Moreno, sa kanya kung tutuusin. Now I know why ghosted ang beauty niya ng isang abogadong pinag-initan niya habang nagsasagawa ng committee hearing sa Kongreso kamakailan. Darwin Cañete, it was painful to see a fellow lawyer not being able to outsmart Karen. So basic. That's picking low-hanging fruit. Tragic.
Ito naman mula kay Cara Macaltao. Abogado ka pa talaga, Migs? Ayun. So, kini-question na.
Tapos maraming front.
Ayun.
Ito naman.
Si Clyde Hereso. Ano yan?
Blacklist ata.
Yung si Cara, sinagot. Ito naman kay Shine Bay. Cara Macaltao, indiwan ng BF na she was expecting to get married kasi iba na ano na to, no? BF niya umalis na sa law firm sa Manila dahil taas kilay mga tao doon. Nograles lang daw credentials niya. Ngayon dagdag pa yung latest interview, naging obvious tuloy. Yun.
Okay.
So, parang napasama sa interview talaga. It was painful. watching her interview with Karen. Di niya masagot ng diretsahan si Karen. Kaloka, akala ko magaling kasi pabida sa TikTok. Nung tanongin siya kung ano yung pinakamalaking violation ng SMNI na maging ground para ma-revoke ang franchise nito, ang reply niya, antay na lang daw ang resolution ng Congress. Abogada ang kinalabasan.
Abugaga.
Abugaga.
Damara.
Mara, lead. No, si kapatid at saan mapapanood?
Enrico Cariñoso, tatanggalan daw ng franchise dahil sa possible violation. Hindi makapinpoint kung ano ang strong violation na nakomit para matanggalan. May comment.
Triangia.
Cheryl.
Oh.
Wala siya kay Marcoleta sa panahon ng ABS. Sign rant, parang wala sa mundo. Baka sagot. Pero ang yabang sa Kongreso dahil andun kapwa-buaya. And then Tito
Bensaldi de Sanrev.
Mga pangalan, nakakatuwa, no? Ha?
Diba, binabaliktad ko.
Unbelievable!
Okay. Ito.
Jerry Ronquillo, dinaanan lang sa tawa, masahol pa kay Alma at least si Alma hindi abogada. Estelle Spring Olaita, tama.
Sinangayunan niya. Okay.
Sinangayunan.
Ito si Crisette. Nakakahiya si Migs Nograles. She couldn't even defend her anti-SMNI stand against someone who is also anti-SMNI. Karen Davila made her look like the bumbling hypocrite that she is.
That she is.
And that's just Karen Davila.
Diyos ko, Migs Nograles, you lay your entire career down the line and the immortal hatred of most Dabawenis for people who don't even have a political future beyond 2028. Ito, Jerry Ronquillo, dinaanan na lang sa tawa. Tapos na yan.
Tapos na.
Okay na.
Nadaanan na yan.
Okay. So, yung si Crisette, taga Davao ba yan?
Leyte.
Ha? Taga
Leyte.
Leyte. Oh. Yun. So, mga kababayan, we don't have to comment. But ito lang ang, ang misgiving ko. Kasi, alam mo, SMNI, in fairness, has given a home for President Digong Duterte. Ito, masakit para sa akin tingnan ito, no? President Duterte was given a home by SMNI.
May platform siya yung ano.
Tapos very clear na gustong alisan siya ng platform to express. I mean, this guy, Duterte, has every right to speak. And SMNI is convenient to him because may station yan sa Davao. Pero ang masama dito, if we talk about Nograles, may the father was very, very nice person, very good person. May he rest in peace. At siguro, nasasaktan ngayon si Kiboy sa mga nangyayari sa mga anak niya. Unang-una, turning in his grave. Kasi unang-una, itong Carlo Nograles, kinupkup ni Duterte ito. Hindi man lang nakapag-advise ng kanyang daughter, ng kanyang kapatid, na
Nilagay sa cabinet yan.
Nilagay. At saka, last hour, na daming applicant na mas magaling pa si Duque, was one of those who wanted to get that Civil Service Commission. Nilagay siya. He's not even more competent than Duque or anybody else. Kaya nga inalis siya as spokesman dahil hindi maganda yung kanyang track record as spokesman. Pinalitan siya, binalik si Harry Roque. Pero pinagbigyan pa din. Imbis na he would have faded in the dustbin of history, ginawang constitutional officer ni Duterte. Tapos ngayon, Carlo Nograles, yung kapatid mo, aalisan nyo ng platform of speaking yung the very person who give you life as a civil service chairman. Mahiya naman kayo. That's why Ado is saying that your father may have maski arch enemy niya si Digong, but I don't think Boy Nograles will even do such a betrayal to Duterte. Yun ang masasabi ko. Because I know the insides of your family. Hindi maganda. Ako, nasasaktan din ako sa mga Nograles. Ewan ko, ito si Coco, matino ito Pero wala ring kibo dito sa issue na to. Yun lang ang masasabi ko. Diyan,
Okay.
mga kababayan.
At samantala, meron pong statement naman si VP Sara Duterte.
Oh.
At may kaugnayan ito no, sa pagpapalaya sa dalawa at yung mga sumuporta. Nagbigay ng suporta dyan po sa Kamara.
Okay.
Basahin po natin ang statement.
Okay.
Maraming salamat
Ikaw
sa
na lang,
lahat
Eric.
ng mga Pilipino na sumuporta at nakiisa sa laban ni Dr. Lorraine Badoy at Jeffrey K. Eric Celis. Noong December 5, ikinulong sina Dr. Badoy at K. Eric sa House of Representatives matapos na sila ay manindigan para sa ating karapatan na malayang mapagpahayag at sa malayang pamahayag. Kahangahangan, tapang at tatag na ipinamalas din na Dr. Badoy at K. Eric para ipaglaban ang ating karapatan at itaguyod ang ating saligang batas. Simbolo sila ng isang bayan na naninindigan ng tama at naninindigan para sa tama. Una nang nagpakita ng katapangan at katapatan sa bayan sina Dr. Badoy at K. Eric bilang bahagi ng matagumpay na kampanya ng Duterte administration laban sa terorismo ng insurgency sa ilalim ng National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict. Kinikilala natin ang mga magigiting na retired Philippine Military Academy alumni at mga dating miyembro ng Armed Forces of the Philippines na naglabas ng matapang na panawagan para sa pagpapalaya ng dalawa. Ang panawagan ng PMA alumni at mga kawal ng AP ay paalala rin sa mga kahalagahan ng kaayusan, integridad at maayos na pamahalaan. Maraming salamat din sa pagkakaisa ng mga kasapi ng media, social media, practitioners, professionals, IP leaders at iba pang sektor naging instrumento para mapalaya sina Dr. Badoy at K. Eric. May kapangyarihan ang bayang nagkakaisa para sa pagsulong ng ating karapatan para sa katarungan, katotohanan at sa pagtatag ng mapayapa at matibay na bayan. Syukran.
Okay.
Okay, yan po.
So, it seems that ang mga magagandang mithi or magagandang mga aksyon parang nanggagaling lamang sa Vice Presidente. Hindi natin naririnig na may kibo ang kasalukuyang Pangulo.
Hindi nagpaparamdam.
Hindi nagpaparamdam. Siguro, ito, ipapalinig natin sa taong bayan. Siguro, parang he has come into a corner na he becomes dumbfounded. Dahil once upon a time, believe siya kay Duterte. At saka mahirap siyang magsalita ngayon na sumuporta dito sa mga humihimok kay Duterte. Ito, pakinggan natin ito si Marcos Jr. kung ano ang tingin niya kay Pangulong Duterte na siya ang tatay ni Inday Sara. Ito, pakinggan natin.
Well, unang-una, questioning ko na divided tayo. Dahil pag tinitignan natin at pinapakinggan natin ang mga pag-uusap dito tungkol kay Pangulong Duterte, palagay ko karamihan mga approval rating niya nasa 80% Wala naman sigurong leader sa buong mundo na merong ganyang approval rating. Kaya palagay ko sa likod ni Pangulong Duterte nagkakaisa ang mga Pilipino at sang-ayon sila sa ginagawa ng ating Pangulo. So, I think medyo dahil nga kay Pangulong Duterte, parang nagkaroon na nga ng rallying point ang Pilipino. Dahil ito yung siguro matagal na tayong hindi nakakita ng isang Pangulo na talagang tunay na leader, na meron vision para meron siyang gustong abutin ng Pilipinas. Meron siyang plano kung saan tayo pupunta in 5 years, kung saan tayo pupunta in 10 years. Meron siyang nakikita kung paano pagandahin ang Pilipinas. Kaya naman siguro kaya sinusuportahan siya ng gusto ng ating mga kababayan.
Ayan po, narinig nyo ang talampate ni Ginoong Marcos. Very clear na Sinasabi niya, si Duterte lang ang makapag-unite. Si Duterte lang ang isang presidente na tularan natin. Kaiisa. At saka, yung vision niya for the next 5 to 10 years ay believe na believe siya. Pero what's happening na?
At nagsisilbing rallying point.
Nagsisilbing rallying point. Pero what is his minions, his mga alipores are doing to Duterte now? Kaya nga, naaawa ako kay Marcos, mga kababayan. Naawa ako for his being a wimp. Naawa ako for his being so weak as a leader. Na dapat, maninindigan dapat siya kung talagang firm at saka strong, walang ibang hihimok kay Duterte. Kasi, base sa kanyang salita, ito na yung tao na bilib ako. Pero, ano ba yan? Nilalaspastasan, no?
Nilapastangan.
Nilalaspastangan ninyo itong tao na bilib ako. Pero, what can he do? He is a weakling. He cannot even say a word. Habang nagsasalita ang Vice Presidente at pinapakita yung liderato ni Ginang Sara, walang liderato pinapakita itong ating Pangulo. Puro mga, motherhood statement. At saka, nagtatago behind the skirt. Puro press release lamang ng PCO.
PCO.
Even yung at the height of the bombing in Marawi, he has not appeared. Contrary to what Duterte did, he came home, cut short his trip in Russia just to be in the forefront of fighting the terrorist group in Marawi City. Ito, did he ever come up in the open, told the whole world, told the whole country na I denounce this terrorist act? Wala, papel lang. Print, media, and issued by PCO. Ano masasabi niyo dyan, mga kababayan? Kayong dalawa, mga kaibigan natin.
Well, napakatagal na para magparamdam siya ng talagang diretsahan at walang binabasang speech, no? Lalo na patungkol doon sa mga gabi at araw kung saan nagkaroon ng lindol at nagkaroon ng pagsabog sa Marawi. At hindi lamang sa Marawi ngayon, dalawa na yung bombing. Nagkaroon na rin sa southern Maguindanao. No? So, asaan ang Pangulo? Yun ang tanong eh. Yun ang tanong ng sambayan ng Pilipino ngayon.
Where is the president who should have rallied the Filipino people to be brave, to be strong, to have the resolve to fight this ills of our society, especially
mali pa yung
terrorism.
Mali pa yung statement na release ng PCO.
Foreign.
Blaming a foreign terrorist.
When in fact, it's just a Dimaote group of people. And this is admitted by Bronner na the possible cause pala is may tinugi sila na
Parang ganti lang.
na leader ng Maote at ginagantihan lamang.
Napatay nila.
Naapatay.
ISIS-inspired to.
ISIS-inspired.
Pero hindi sila mismong foreigner.
Hindi sila foreigner. So, ill-advised. And I think the real story there has been ascribed by Maharlika, yung Buljakera na vlogger, is Marcos was not really the one who issued that statement. But he was nowhere, or he was hiding, or he was maybe bedridden for whatever reason. The PCO has to make a statement. But it was a hush-hush statement. That's why they made a mistake in saying that it's a foreign person or foreigner who did it. So, ganun po katindi ang pangyayari ngayon. So, ako, instead na magagalit, naaawa ako because maybe the president has something good in his heart, but he is surrounded by bad people and he cannot express the goodness, the real bad people's actions are the one that is being perpetuated on the people of the Philippines and made it appear as the work of the president. Yun ang nakikita ko. But can we go on forever with a weak person? Bulusok na ng pabulusok ang kahirapan ng taong bayan sa ating bansa, mga kababayan. Can we ever stop this? Ito po, ngayon namayagpag ang mga kaliwa, namayagpag ang mga maraming kasalanan sa taong bayan, itong si Huntay Virus. Ito, sinampahan ko ng kaso ito for kidnapping of minor. Sinampahan namin ni Bit Aguirre, dating Justice Secretary, ng wiretap. Na-wiretap yung conversation namin ni Bit Aguirre. Ito. At ngayon, binubuljak siya ni Ferdy Topacio. Kasama ko ito si Ferdy habang hinahanap namin yung mga bata na tinago ni Hontiveros. Itong interview ni Topacio. At I will tell you kung sino itong interviewer na babae. I will tell you what she is later.
All right, Attorney Topacio, I'm going to cut to the chase here. You heard the allegations coming from alleged former members of Pastor Kiboy's church. What is your defense? What do you have to say, or what does the pastor have to say about these allegations?
These allegations are recycled, number one. These are already the subject of a criminal proceeding in California, in the United States. Number two, when it comes to producing credible witnesses, Senator Hontiveros has a very poor record. In 2017, and I personally know this because I was involved, she was accused by the father of one of the witnesses in the Kian de los Santos case of practically abducting his child, and asked the VACC, the Volunteers Against Crime and Corruption, to retrieve the child. In 2021, she was charged by my clients of trying to suborn perjury with respect to witnesses in the Farman case. And she is now an accused in a wiretapping charge in the Pasay City Courts. So, Grace Hontiveros has a record of using false witnesses in order to further her political agenda.
But as you said, Attorney Topacio, as you said, if it is true that these witnesses or these testimonies are recycled, they exist to begin with before they were even recycled.
Yes, they exist, and there are proceedings. And I think Ms. Hontiveros misses the point entirely, because there are already ongoing proceedings. There were criminal cases filed here in the Philippines against Pastor Kiboy, and they were dismissed. I think what Hontiveros fails to perceive all throughout the time that she's senator is that the Senate is not an investigative agency. It is not the court. It is not the police. It is not the NBI. It exists to make legislation.
Yeah, and this is the investigation, if it does push through, is going to be in aid of legislation to strengthen human trafficking laws to see if they're still good enough to prevent such crimes from happening.
Hontiveros is fooling us. You know, the phrase in aid of legislation is not a magic wand that you wave around just to justify any investigation. You know, the expanded Anti-Human Trafficking Act was just passed last year, 2022, which is an amendment of the Human Trafficking Act of 2003. What has happened since then to justify another inquiry? This is plain and unadulterated baloney as part of the feeding frenzy against Pastor Kiboy, the SMNI, and the Kingdom of Jesus Christ, as demonstrated by the imprisonment or the citing in contempt of Yusek Lorraine Badoy and Eric Celis, and the threat on the legitimate franchise of SMNI and other acts of harassment. You can see the pattern. So only a blind person, one has to be really naive to see and not to see what is going on here.
What is going on here? Is there, or are there, Attorney Topacio, are there abuses happening in Pastor Kiboy's church?
That is for the courts to determine, not for the Senate, and definitely not for a senator who has an agenda to promote. if she is really sincere in curbing abuses, why has she not filed one bill, made one privilege speech against the enablers of those recruiting minors and women and girls from schools to be abused and left and made warriors by the NPA? Why is she selective in her concern?
No, Attorney Topacio, I think you missed my question there. I was asking you, as legal counsel of Kiboy, are there abuses happening in his church?
There are allegations, there are defenses, but you also did not get the point of my answer. The proper forum for that is not the Senate, it's not the House, it is for the courts. Now, if you use in aid of legislation as an excuse, that is a lame excuse. And that is subject to abuse, that already stated by the Supreme Court in Neri, in Benson, and very recently, just that month, in Ong versus a Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, that this is an excuse that is prone to abuse. But, you know, some people like Ms. Montiveros, they never learn. They always use the Senate as their own bully pulpit to advance their agenda. Very saddening. Very saddening.
I mean, this is a long interview. And every step of the way, every time this alleged leftist family, itong Constantino, I mean, even if you look at the history, you know, yung Renato Constantino Sr., you'll find out that he is a left-leaning historian. And ito, with due respect, sinabi ni Ferdy Topacio kanina dito sa interview, and I can attest, kasi kaming dalawa, itong Huntay virus na ito, nangidnap ng mga bata. Can you imagine yung kaso ni Kian de los Santos? There were children who were supposed to be witnesses. But Huntay virus, itong senadora na minention dyan, kinupkup niya yung mga bata kasi gagamitin nila ng mga kaliwa na testigo against Duterte's war on drugs, specifically President Duterte. And sinong nagkugkup nitong mga bata? Pinuntahan namin sa Senado dahil yung tatay at the time na kinupkup itong mga bata was still in jail. Tapos nakalabas. Nagreklamo sa amin. We were legal counsel then of the Volunteer Against Crime and Corruption. Nagreklamo yung tatay. So, ako at saka sa Ferdy Topacio, inang-company namin yung bata. We went to the Senate. We confronted Hontevirus. Ayaw makipagharap si Hontevirus sa amin. Binigay lang kami sa staff at sinasabi, wala daw sa kanya, nasaan ang mga bata? Kinupkop nitong uncle nitong David na ito. Itong Constantino David na itong announcer dyan na gustong kokornelin si Topacio, pero sabi ni Topacio, tanga ka. Hindi ka tama yung mga sagot mo, mga tanong mo. Because magkakampiyan. Hontevirus and the big family are one and the same. Kaya nga gusto niyang kornelin si Topacio para dapat ka tanggalin na sa ABS-CBN yan eh. She's not a neutral announcer. She's not a neutral interviewer. Itong paslang-slang pa. Kala mo kung sinong kayabangan ito. Di ba? Ito si David. Sino yung nagkupkup nung hinanap namin yung mga bata? Yung kanyang uncle na Bishop David sa Caloocan. Pinuntahan namin.
Si Virgilio David.
Oh. Tinago yung mga bata. Ayaw pang umamin na nasa kanya yung in possession siya sa mga bata they were thinking of using these children na mag-testify against the war on drugs of Duterte. Now, I filed a case against this Huntay virus. Bakit hindi ito ang imbestigahan ng Senado? For kidnapping minor or for wiretapping the Secretary of Justice and as an officer of the government.
Ang awkward dito, Secretary, is yung gustong mag-imbestiga in aid of legislation ay sila pala ang expert sa human trafficking. Si Hontivirus, ito si Constantino, at saka yung Bisya.
Oh.
Bakit hindi yun ang...
Tinago nga eh. Sila nga yung perpetrator of human trafficking eh. Tinago yung mga bata.
At saka kapag...
Tapos alam naman yan, siya nagtago. Tapos she hide the fact or she hid the fact that she was, tapos ito nga yung misgiving. Bakit itong ombudsman, nakapile na yung kaso ko dyan, heinous crime yan kasi kidnapping of minor, hindi pa rin inaksyonan hanggang ngayon? Hindi ba dapat magkaroon ng investigasyon bakit itong hantavirus na ito is the one that is perpetrating human trafficking of minors? Hindi ba? Tapos siya ngayon ang mag-question kay Kiboy na engaged daw. Tapos sinasabi nitong David na ito na the allegation daw is that they were charges. Sabi ni Juan, but that's recycled. Sabi ni Perdi, napakatanga nito. Kaya nga recycled kasi napaila na ng kaso yung the same act that is being investigated again. Hindi niya naintindihan yung statement ni Ferdi kung anong point of view why he is saying na recycled. Hindi niya. Can you not put that in your coco head, Miss David?
Forcing through
You have
siya.
no business in ABS-CBN kasi bias ka. I think sumama ka na lang dyan sa mga akbayan at saka na kayo naman, mga miyembro kayo dyan eh. Di ba? Yung pamilya nyo. Alam mo, anuhin nyo yung, hinihimok nyo yung SMNI. Pati yung mga personal na mga, these crimes, there are already charges filed. And yet, gusto nyo pang imbestigahan.
Tsaka ito yata,
sa Senate.
ito yata ang batas na ito, Secretary, kapapasa lang last year.
Yes!
Gusto na naman nilang...
Ganito kasi yan eh. Mayroon ng batas. In fact, yung IACAT, which is really the chaired by the Department of Justice. When I was in the Department of Labor, ako ang inassign ni Secretary dyan. In fact, marami kaming but it is the implementation. It's not the law, but the implementation. Ito pa lang yung ang daming mga human traffic victims na inano doon sa itong Myanmar. They were lured to work in Myanmar. Pagdating doon, pinipreso sila. Mga babae, mga lalaki. Ang dami kong kausap na ganyan, mga kababayan. In fact, yung isang in-interview natin, di ba? Victim siya ng human trafficking. Na-scam. So, yun ang pagtuunan ng pansin ni, kasi ito si Hontivirus, gusto talaga niya na ano bang tawag na?
High and mighty.
Hindi, yung parang she will maximize her epal. Gusto niya yung issues na nakakapag-lift sa kanyang pagka-epal.
Ginujuice niya to the fullest.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so, yun po. So, if I will list Carmina, anong pangalan ito? Constantino David. Wag po kayong magdyaryo na dyan or kung ganun kakabayas na magtanong. Mabuti na lang si Ferdy Topacio ay very courteous. Tinatawan-tawanan ka na lang. Pero for those who were watching it, ay talagang nasusuka sa mga pinagtatabi mo. Kasi knowing that you are the nephew of David, na kinupkop yung mga bata doon sa I for one have confronted David himself kasi nire-retrieve ng Volunteer Against Crime and Corruption yung mga bata kasi nagreklamo yung tatay. And what is the ombudsman doing about that kidnapping of minor against this hantavirus? Is she above the law? Dahil hindi siya maimbestigahan for kidnapping these minors? Tapos ngayon magmamalaki, pinapaano niya itong SMNI magmamalaki na ipapaimbestiga niya. What about the senators investigating you also for victimizing minors, Mr. Madam Akbayan Hontabayros? Yun po.
Okay, maraming salamat po.